or if anybody wants to discuss what's the plan for them, what they will be doing after the classes are finished, or they seek any assistance, that what stream they have to choose, or where they are going to work on, or what's that they are going to prepare for. Are they going to prepare for the software testing jobs, or what it is that anybody would want to uh, share, or ask suggestions, that what could be the roadmap after these classes are getting over. How do you manage to get the job or something? Has anybody any plans that they would like to discuss? Okay, so someone says, ma'am, I will be going for the soft skills classes, and then I'll prepare for interviews and then start giving interviews. Perfect. Yes. Yes. So just let me add, guys. So just that the knowledge or the technical knowledge that we share or we learn is not sufficient. We also need to learn the soft skills and the tips and tricks to clear an interview. How do you look confident in an interview? How do you ensure that you are answering correct questions? How do you not get nervous? What does your body language say when you're sitting in front of the interviewer? So all these things matter a lot. So nice, good choice that you will be working on that, and you will be trying to upgrade that skill for yourself. That's indeed very much required, whether guys you go into data analytics, you go into a data scientist role, or something which is a developer, or you go into testing, you go into business analysis. Whatever profile you go into, that is a common skill that you need to know. That is absolutely common skill that you need to know, that how do you articulate what you're trying to say, how do you communicate, how do you clear the interviews, and not look like you're a fresher. So most of us here would be freshers or so, and do not give an impression that we are a fresher. So that needs a lot of practice and preparation, because you're a fresher and you do not know how the industry works. So this gives you a lot of for you, it's kind of a extra preparatory work, I would say, and a lot of practice, okay. All right, so we will, like I said, we are going to start with the defects. So someone yesterday was interested in knowing what is a defect severity and priority. We are going to discuss that, and then as per the plan, let me quickly share the screen of the of my today's class. Allow me a moment, and please confirm once you are able to see the screen, okay? And I would like to hear how is the session going, and did it add value to you, or did you learn something which you didn't know before? I would be glad if you guys just drop that in the chat box, or let me know that, ma'am, this was interesting, we got to know new things. So I'd be glad to know, and then all right. So I have replies wherein people says that they learned a new things, they learn new things, and they have got an interest. Somebody says that they have got an interest in testing. Yeah, so it's a very interesting domain. I would say it's a very, very interesting domain. It's a lot of opportunities, lot of good work, and you will find it here. And let me also tell you guys that there can never be a market wherein you are not, there's testing is not there. Just think of something like that, that when just think of something like that, that would anybody in the world, would anybody who is doing a business, guys, is if anybody who is doing a business would like to launch their product, which launch their service or launch anything without doing a testing? It's a basic simple question. Do you think the people who uses iPhone, or the people who has an iPhone, would not be tested maybe 100 times before launching into the market? Of course, yes. Do you think a small Maggie that we eat every day, or something like that, would not have been tested by the people? It would have been every single product that is in the market, that the somebody has launched it, would have been tested multiple and multiple times. Every every parts of our vehicle, every parts of our car has been tested multiple times. So anything that exists will have to be tested before launching into the to the people. Do you think so? Do you think so? It's a good idea to do a proper rigorous testing before we launch anything to the market, or to do a live. So the testing will always exist. Yes, right. Yeah. So everybody, the testing will always exist. You will always have to test some of the other thing. The technologies might change. Okay, the technologies might change. Today we are using Selenium with Java. Yes, tomorrow we might use some other software or other tools to do the testing, but then testing will always be there. So this is a very good industry with a very good scope of work for everybody. So it's a good choice. It's a very, very nice choice, if I would have to say, for you people to choose testing as your career. Okay, if I have to just summarize what it is there. Okay, so we have seen, you have seen, are you able to see the screen? I guess yes. Yeah, you are able to see the screen, everybody? I think so. Y- yes, so people are replying yes. So I think all of you are able to see the screen, right? Fantastic. Okay, so now there was someone who had asked yesterday that what is a severity and what is a priority. It is a very good question, and very similar, and a very important question to understand from the interview point of view, plus the testing point of view as well. So remember, severity. I like to give one words which you remember, so that you know, you remember those one words, and then you can frame the answers. If you remember these one words which I'm trying to say, then you can just remember the answers. All right. So just remember this two. Severity is equal to impact, and priority is equal to how soon can it be fixed. I hope everybody can see what I'm typing on the chat boxes. Can everybody see? Because I just give one word sometimes. I hope it's reaching everybody. Can anyone confirm if they are able to see the chat boxes that we drop in, wherein I drop the messages, wherein I drop some keywords? Is everybody, is that visible to everyone? Yes. Okay. Okay. So it is visible to everybody. Thank you for confirming. Okay. So guys, severity is something which talks about the impact. Impact as in कि वो कितना डैमेज किया है, कर सकता है आपके एप्लीकेशन को, इफ आई हैव टू से दिस वे, मींस सपोज इफ आई हैव टू टॉक अबाउट IRCTC, आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू गिव अ वेरी रियल एग्जांपल which will relate to all of us. If I have to tell that ये कितना impact करेगा आपके एप्लीकेशन को, so if I am taking an example of, if I am taking an example of IRCTC, then I only have to say that if the booking a ticket is not working, आपको लगता है कि बिजनेस का इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा होगा कि कम होगा? will it impact the business highly or will it impact the business normally? If the book a ticket functionality is not working, so IRCTC has somewhere around 20 to 30 services that they are offering. They are offering a booking a ticket, they are offering a cancel a ticket, they are also offering cancellation counter tickets, they are offering us book and hotel. So a lot of things. They are also travel they are also offering a book a trip from us, like Make My Trip. Now IRCTC is also into all that, so they are offering multiple services to us. But if a book book a ticket service is not working, do you think it is going to impact the business? Do you think it's going to impact the business? Yes, it is. It is going to impact the business. So when that is what is severity, that how severe the impact is. Based on that, we need to give a severity. So severity is being rated as critical, very high, high, medium, and low. How do we start it? As critical, very high, high, medium, and low. Okay, high, medium, and low. All right. So if the criticality, if the impact is severe, it's severe, then we say it as critical, meaning everything is stopped. Means everything is stopped and nothing is working. In that case, you need to fix that immediately. If the severity of a defect is critical, means that needs to be fixed ASAP, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. When it is very high, high, medium, and low, so on. So if there is a defect which is of a low severity, then the developer will try to pick a defect which is of very high or high before low and medium. All right. So this is something about severity. Now priority. So guys, priority, what did I write? I wrote priority is equal to how soon it can be fixed. Meaning that even if it is a small issue, even if it is a small issue, but it's going to impact something. But it is, suppose if I'm saying, suppose if I'm saying that the functionality is not impacted. Suppose if I have the website, and now the website IRCTC is there, and then you just can't you when you log into it, no, you can't see that features, what all is there. You only are interested in booking a ticket, but then you can't see the front page, you can't see the GUI, and the display is not working. If I have to say display is not working, so suppose if display is not working, maybe the features would be working, book a ticket will be working, just that it is not able to display properly. Just that it is not able to display properly, but still you can book a ticket. That means the severity is not that high, but the priority is very high. Why? Because that is something related to the IRCT's brand. That is something related to the IRCTC look and feel, that how the website is looking. See, the website is not looking good. So anything that has something related to the image of the company, image of the application, brand, and their error is at that point, that needs to be fixed ASAP, because that will, the severity could be low, but the priority can be high. Because that your application is not stopped working, you're still able to book the ticket, you're still able to do that, but then it is not visible properly, it is little blur, वो अच्छे से दिख नहीं रहा है. लेकिन आप समझ जाओगे कि हाँ ये बुक टिकट ही है, अच्छे से बस दिखाई नहीं दे रहा, थोड़ा ब्लर सा हो गया, कुछ अजीब सा ही दिख रहा है पेज, बट देन योर वर्क इज नॉट इम्पैक्टेड, but then your look and feel is impacted, and which in turn can say that कि IRCTC का साइट या खोलने का कोई मतलब है, अच्छे से कुछ दिखता ही नहीं है, कुछ दिखता ही नहीं. So that is something wherein you have to fix that will be called as a high priority. ठीक है, and a low severity. Generally in interviews people will not ask questions about give an example of high severity, high priority. तो मैं तो बोलूंगी कि बुक का टिकट इज हाई सिवेरिटी, हाई प्रायोरिटी, क्योंकि उसको फिक्स भी तुरंत करना पड़ेगा और उसका इम्पैक्ट भी बहुत ज्यादा है. That is an example of a high severity, high priority. Low तो हमको पता है कि anything that has zero impact or a very negligible impact will be covered as a low. But then for what examples will you say when they say that it is a high severity, it is a high priority but a low severity? And then we can say these examples. Then we can say these examples, that this is an example of high priority and low severity. Any questions on this, guys? So the candidate who asked this question yesterday, ki, ma'am, I would want to understand severity. Does this answer your question? Does this answer your question now regarding the severity and the priority? Yes. Okay. Okay. Very good. So now let's move on to this. If anybody has any questions related to defects, if you guys want to ask, please feel free to ask me, and I will be happy to help you in that. Now we are going to study what, if you can see the screen, we studied defect management. We did that. We are now going to study test closure. We are now going to study test closure. What is a test closure? What is a test closure? Anybody? Test closure. Test closure is something which when you say test closure, what does the word say? Closure. That means you're trying to close something. You're trying to close a process. Meaning, guys, SDLC, if you remember SDLC, what was the phase after testing? If anybody can quickly type in what was the phase after testing in SDLC. SDLC. Correct. Deployment. Correct. You're right. So now when I say test closure, meaning now I am moving to the fifth phase. Yes, software development life cycle is there, and this is the development life cycle. I was asking about the phase after testing. So phase after testing is the deployment phase. Yeah, very nice. So phase after testing is the deployment phase. So if I say that I'm going to complete my testing, means my testing is now, my application is now going on to the next phase of the software delivery life cycle, which is the deployment phase. Means when we say, so see how much power do we have. When we say as a tester that it is all working good, then everybody decides to go put it as live. Not after developer says that, okay, fine, I have developed this very nicely. No, but when we say that now this is working fine, so the understand the responsibility that we have during a project. So when we say that now this is working fine, then they will say that, okay, now we can move on to the next. Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. So what does a test closure report mean? So guys, a test closure report is equal to test summary. Is equal to test summary. What is a test summary? Summary means whatever you have done from the day one of the starting of the testing. Whatever you have done from the day one of the testing till the end of the testing needs to be mentioned there. Needs to be mentioned there. Meaning, I started my testing on these items. I did testing from this date till this date. The testing continued for 2 months, and in this 2 months duration, I tested this, I tested that. I have included all the testing results here. Mostly people will upload the testing results where, if anybody can quickly say, where do we upload the results, or where do we upload all the testing activities that you do usually? We do it in tool. We generally do it in tool. So I have used tools like Jira, I have used tools like ALM Octane and ALM both. So ALM is a very standard and a very widely used test management tool. ALM is the test management tool. ALM is the test management tool, a very widely used test management tool, which captures, or which is useful for all of your testing activities. When I say useful for all of your testing activities means वहां पर आप टेस्ट केस लिख सकते हैं, वहां पर आप टेस्ट केस अपलोड कर सकते हैं, वहां पर आप टेस्ट एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं डायरेक्टली, आप डिफेक्ट रेज कर सकते हैं, आप डिफेक्ट और टेस्ट केस को लिंक कर सकते हैं, आप हिस्ट्री देख सकते हैं कि कितनी बार वो टेस्ट केस एग्जीक्यूट हुआ है, वो टेस्ट केस किसने क्रिएट किया है, एंड एवरीथिंग यू कैन डू इट ऑन दी, आपने कितनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स लिखी, यू कैन अपलोड ऑल योर रिक्वायरमेंट्स फ्रॉम बीआरडी, you can do a mapping, you can do a mapping of your requirements with the test case with the defects. Guys, you remember I taught you RTM? You remember we studied RTM, requirement traceability matrix? If anybody remember, we did this RTM, which is a kind of a mapping that nothing has been missed. We did an RTM that when we go through the requirements, how many requirements are getting mapped with the test cases, so that we don't miss any requirement. So you can all do this on that tool, for example. So after that, in the test closure, we give the link of that tool, explaining that what is there inside the tool, what all you have uploaded in the tool. Okay. Make sense? Has anybody seen the ALM or have used anyone ALM? So guys, ALM stands for Application Lifecycle Management. Application life cycle. See, the word also says that's the life cycle of the application. It will manage the life cycle of the application that you're using. एप्लीकेशन अभी आया है तुम्हारे पास, तो उसका टेस्ट केस लिखने से लेकर एग्जीक्यूट करने से लेकर डिफेक्ट ट्रेस करने से लेकर सब कुछ, एंड अ वेरी सिंपल यूज ऑफ द ALM. Ma'am, are we going to study ALM? Not in this class, but we have ALM hands-on learning of the ALM hands-on in our advanced classes. Because ALM is a tool and it requires a license. So we have a license for ALM, and then you can use that for understanding how to go inside it, where to click, and how to do the linking, and what happens if a defect comes, what is the life cycle of a defect. That all you can do it. So that is covered as a part of the advanced testing classes. Okay. Yes. Yes, guys. So yeah. Yes. So testing class has started on Monday, last Monday. Meaning today was the fourth class for the testing. Yes, we already have started. Yeah. So ALM is a part of that. Yes. Okay. All right. So now what all we are going to do? We are going to say that we raised somewhere around, for example, I will say we raised somewhere around 20 defects. And then 20 defects had what? 20 defects, a breakup of the defects. 20 defects, out of 20 defects, 5 were of high severity, 2 were of medium severity, 1 was of low severity, and so on. We give all the statistics of our testing. How many defects did we raise? How many defects were rejected? Why were they rejected? Okay, and how many test cases we executed? 200 test cases. And how long did you take to execute that test cases? Who were the resources that were involved in doing the testing? Who are the resources that were involved in doing all this testing? Correct. So these all mentioned in the test closure report. Okay. All right. And in the test closure report, we also mention best practices. And best practices से भी पहले ना हम डालते हैं उसमें lessons learned. What do we say? Lessons learned. What is a lessons learned? Lessons learned means that what were the what is it that we could have done it better. Lessons learned is equal to, I will say, lessons learned is equal to what we could have done better. What we could have done better means ऐसा क्या था जहां पे हम लैग कर रहे थे. We say ना गलतियों से सीखते हैं. We say, right, कि हमें अपनी गलतियों से सीखना चाहिए, हमें अपनी गलतियों से सीखना चाहिए. So this is what, so nobody is perfect. So when you do the testing, you realize after testing, okay, had I tried doing it this way, if मैंने अगर ये अप्रोच लिया होता तो शायद मुझे जल्दी रिजल्ट मिलता. I could have completed this in 2 days rather than 5 days had I taken this approach. And you come to know after testing. And then you mention that so that when you do a next version of that project or when you do a next application, you keep that in mind. So this is also mentioned where? In the test closure report. So this can be asked that have you heard about the word lessons learned? Why it is important and where does it go? So you need to explain that lesson learned is something that needs to be mentioned in the test closure report, and this means that what differently we could have done it so that it could have been better, and what we are going to do it from the next time, what have we learned from it. Isn't it? This is what we have to write in the test closure. समझ में आया? Did everybody get a gist of what is a test closure? Interesting, no? And then when the test closure is there, with the test closure we also say that hello everybody, now that this is the test closure report, we also say you that officially the SIT is now signed off by the testing team. What do we say? That now officially the SIT is being signed off by the testing team and it is ready to move on to the next phase. समझ में आया? So now guys, when I say is ready to move on to the next phase, not always we will have this phase. Next phase मतलब हमेशा deployment नहीं होगा. हो सकता है कि UAT हो. You remember the levels of testing? Levels of testing याद है हमें, जिसमें सबसे पहला टेस्टिंग था यूनिट टेस्टिंग. What were the testings? First was the unit testing, second was the integration testing, third was the SIT, which we are now doing, understanding and doing, and then fourth was the UAT. So when I say that I am signing off the exactly user acceptance testing, correct? So when I say that I am done with my SIT and we are ready to move on to the next phase, depends upon the company that it should go into UAT or it should directly go into the deployment. 99% of the time it should go into UAT. Why? Because we just want business to validate what we have tested. What is the intention behind it? That we just want user to do a validation for us. And the approach of doing SIT and UAT is different, guys. Why it is different? SIT में ना हम टेस्टिंग करते हैं bugs निकालने के लिए, defects निकालने के लिए. The objective is to identify defects and defects. UAT is something to identify whether the application is working as expected or not. If I have said that I'm able to book a ticket, the user will not try to unnecessarily enter anything into the text box. He will enter only the positive inputs, and with all those positive inputs he will try to check whether he is able to do the booking or not. That will be the intention of the UAT. And once the UAT is completed, the same processes UAT will also have. The UAT will also have a test closure report. It will be named as test closure report UAT. We will have as test closure report SIT. ठीक है? So that is something that is to decide by the company and the organization that whether we are going to move on to the next phase, deployment phase, or the user acceptance testing phase. Does it make sense? Okay. So far, any questions in that? We will now next move on to the best practices. Any questions on the test closure report? Any questions, guys? So we will now move on to the best practices of testing. If you have no questions, I would like to explain what does best practices of testing means, and you can use at which phase and all that. So I would just like to put some keywords here about best practices of testing. So these are the few best practices that I would want to, I usually encourage people regarding the testing that I'm copying and writing and pasting in our chat box. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm just typing. Keep it simple, everybody, and consistent. It's not only about what you write, it's also about how you write it. How you write it, how simple you're trying to write a test case is what I'm trying to say. Don't complicate the test cases. If the test cases are big, very important tip, if the test cases are big, guys, try to split it up. Try to split it up in 3-4 cases. ठीक है उसको don't try to just write one test step with 50 steps, one test case with 50 steps. Just split it up. Just try to split a 50 टेस्ट स्टेप केस को हम 3 टेस्ट केस में स्प्लिट कर देंगे तो हमारे पास टेस्ट केस कितने रहेंगे फिर 14 15 16 ऐसे ऐसे टेस्ट केसेस का काउंट हो जाएगा टेस्ट स्टेप्स का. So try to split if the test case is a very big one. So that is very important, that what you write and how you write it. Okay, start with a good test scenario. Always pick up a good test scenario. Decide whether, if this is a good test scenario. Use a good testing techniques that we have learned yesterday. Be specific. Testing में ना वो लगता है वाला एटीट्यूड कभी नहीं रखना कि मुझे लगा था ये काम करेगा, मुझे लगा था ये ऐसे हो जाएगा. लगना है ही नहीं हमारे टेस्टर्स की डिक्शनरी में. एजम्पशन इज नॉट एट ऑल अलाउड. डू नॉट एज्यूम एनीथिंग कि ये तो काम करना ही था ना, ये तो काम करता ही है. Assumption is not allowed in testing. You have to confirm everything and try to explore things. Try to explore things means try to navigate here and there, try to think, try to break the system, try to identify the loopholes where you can see in the system, so that people not only respect you for just doing the testing, but they also respect you for giving the input. कि अगर ये काम कर रहा है, if we say something like that कि ये this is working fine, this is now working fine, but had we worked it this way, it would have been more user friendly. अगर आप थोड़ा सा इसको ऐसे ट्वीक करते ना तो ये ज्यादा यूजर फ्रेंडली होता. ये क्या होता, ज्यादा यूजर फ्रेंडली. अगर हम उसको ऐसे करते तो ज्यादा. So it's not about that testing, it's also about providing the feedback. It's not necessary that whatever suggestion you have given will be implemented, but then people will think that he is also doing a proactive work. He's proactively understanding the system, understanding the domain, and thinking from the point of user. Testers has always has to think as a user, as a user's mind who has not ever used that application and is using for the first time. If we keep these all things in mind, this will be called as the best practices in testing. This will be called as what? Best practices in testing. So if if you want to type copy this whatever I have here, copy it and paste it somewhere, please do so. And just try to remember this whenever you have been asked what are the best practices that you can think of in the testing, we might say these all. We might say these all. Okay. What do you say, isn't it? And this is just not for manual testing or any other testing. This is also for automation testing, and this is also for any types of testing that you're going to do. Does this make sense? Let me share the screen again. It was having some problem, so I just stopped sharing. I will just share and we will again go through the syllabus that we had. Okay. So we have done this also. We have done this also, guys. We have done this, and I'm so glad that you are understanding all those concepts. And and I was so happy that I have able to explain you the software testing is as much as possible in this short duration, isn't it? So I've tried to cover most of the things that I think should be a part of a free class session, which I have done. So tomorrow, if you guys, you know what, tomorrow we are going to have this sessions we are going to cover. From tomorrow, we will have the automation classes. ठीक है, कल से ना हम ऑटोमेशन का क्लास लेंगे. कल हम ऑटोमेशन टेस्टिंग देखेंगे यूजिंग जावा एंड सेलेनियम, बिकॉज वेन एवर वी आर गोइंग टू हैव द एडवांस क्लासेस उसमें आपके पास जावा और सेलेनियम भी रहेगा. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू अटेंड एंड सी वेदर यू गाइज आर इंटरेस्टेड इन ऑटोमेशन एंड इज दैट योर कप ऑफ टी. ठीक है. So I was highly recommend that everybody joins the automation class because it will help you ki, and believe me guys, as a testing I would always recommend and suggest for you people to go into the automation class to learn automation. To learn automation, it is very very important. ठीक है. So do not miss tomorrow's class because we are going to do the automation, and I would also suggest that you take the entire automation testing class. This is going to be very very beneficial for you. You're going to understand the concepts, and believe me, it's not at all difficult. It's absolutely not at all difficult to understand. All right, so we the point that I'm trying to explain is that we are expert in making people understand the things in a very easy manner. We just try to give live examples जो आप day to day life में देखते हैं करते हैं. I always try to give that examples which you can relate to the terms. And I just try to give one word. अभी आपको याद रहेगा कि severity equal to impact. कभी भी severity का कुछ पूछेंगे, then you can easily say, okay, how impact is it, how much impact is it going to have in the delivery. Based on that, we are going to put a severity of the defect. So this is what I try to focus on, that the candidates get to learn in a very easy and a simple manner. So that is what is my idea of providing classes. Okay. So we are going to have the automation class, and then we are going to have the database class as well tomorrow. So ask your friends also who would be interested in database, who are going to learn, who would want to see how SQL is, how do you give a commands, how do you do SQL query and all those stuff. We will also going to have it that as well. Okay. So from the manual part, we have covered everything. The part that has been remaining is the hands-on and a deeper of understanding of the tools and the agile and all that, that is covered in the advanced classes. And as I said, people are calling me for inquiries, so this is my number. In case you would be interested, speak to me. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So see you tomorrow on the automation class, and I thank you again for joining, for being with me into these last 7 8 classes, and I'm glad it added value to everybody so far. What we have studied, I would say that just keep revising all these subjects, all the topics that we have learned, and ping me, or if you have any questions, I would always be happy to help in the WhatsApp as well. And have a nice rest of the day today, and then see you all tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, yeah, bye.